Gaming changed the world worldwide, physically and mentally. It became a new hobby for lots of people. Some people use video games for entertainment and money. You could make lots of money by making a console/handheld game, or you could just play a game and live stream it.
But you can't have a video game without a video game console or handheld. Video games have changed the world, but what are the frontiers in video game consoles and handhelds?
People think of Pong when they hear the first video game ever, but something came out before it. 2 months before Pong, the Magnavox Odyssey came out. The play-at-home gaming system was released. Engineer Ralph Baer, a pioneer in the field of interactive video games, invented what became known as the Magnavox Odyssey home video game system. But that was only the first video game console, because there are so many more that you might know as Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo.
These are the newest consoles that came out from each of these video game systems. They are very unique in their different ways, but when they created their first consoles, they originally looked very similar, having the box unit and the wired controller connected.
The first Nintendo console was the NES, the Nintendo Entertainment System. The NES launched in 1985 and was priced at $149.99 and came with Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt, a light gun accessory for Duck Hunt, and an extra controller. Then came the Game Boy. The Game Boy sold 1 million units in this country in a few short weeks. The handheld gaming system was invented in Nintendo's Gunpei Yokoi, who's also created the Metroid video game series. Then came the Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, Game Boy Color, Nintendo GameCube, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo Wii U, Nintendo Switch Lite, and the Nintendo Switch OLED. The frontier in history for Nintendo is the Nintendo Switch and the Nintendo Switch OLED. They found a way to make a console and a handheld mixed together. The Nintendo Switch Lite is not included into this because the Nintendo Switch Lite is only a handheld and not a console. So many people enjoy the Xbox consoles, but most of Xbox's fans came from the original Xbox. It came out on November 15, 2001, and it cost $300. That Xbox sold over 24 million units by May 2006. Then came the Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox Series S, and Xbox Series X. November 10th, 2020, the Xbox Series X was released. It cost $500. Some retailers were selling it for $700 and up. The reason why the Xbox Series X is a frontier in history is because they are more graphically powerful than previous consoles in a variety of ways. In most titles, you can expect higher resolutions, higher frame rates, and more detailed characters and environments compared to the same games on Xbox One or PlayStation 4, all better with image quality.
One of the most known gaming brands has improved over the years, from the original PlayStation to the PS5. PlayStation was first made on December 3rd, 1994, and made $2 billion from worldwide hardware and software sales by early 1996. After all the money they made, they decided to make the PS2, the second console of the PlayStation brand. The PS2 came out on March 4th, 2000. The total number of profit made by the PS2 was $2.22 billion, which surpassed the original in only one physical year. Then came the PlayStation Portable, PlayStation 3, PlayStation Vita, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. The PS5 is the frontier in history for PlayStation because the PS5 is armed with impressive specs for console, offering an AMD Zen 2 based CPU and custom RDNA 2 GPU with over 10.28 TFLOPs of computer power.
Video games has changed the 21st century.
by a lot. And now video games are, for some people, in their lives all the time. This has created many new ways of thinking and many new ways of people behaving. It is very different of how it used to be back then, but sometimes it could be for a good change. Video games are important because they keep everybody entertained and happy. In 1,000 years, video games will be stored in history for everybody to remember. One of the long-term impacts of video games is that everybody knows and almost has one everywhere in the world. So the frontiers in video game consoles and handhelds have to go out of their way for their design, storage, and graphics.